Okay, so I am back. I don't know what happened there, but what I do know is I was just talking away for about 10 minutes, which makes me feel a little stupid, but there you go. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. And if I'm not sure where it laid off, but I'm just going to start with some of these questions towards the bottom and just review meter, since that seems to be something that always gives people trouble. But just before we do that, let's just go back and do one more of these. Okay, so here we see we're asking for a compound beat, a compound meter, so it's going to have 3 beats in it. No, sorry. Give me a second. Our compound meter, so the beat is going to be divided by 3. And when you get a compound meter, it's going to have a dot here. So your beat's going to have a dot. So if I give you, if I say that the beat is a dotted 16th note, what does that tell us? First of all, it tells us that my beat is going to divide into 3 parts. So a dotted 16th note, we'd have a 16th note divided by 2, which is 2 32nd notes, plus half again the value. Now we've already divided the 16th note into 2 32nd notes. So we already know what half the value of a 16th note is. It's a 32nd note. So the dot would give you 1 more 32nd note. So this would be 3 32nd notes, and we can come down here and select 3 32nd notes, because we know that that it's going to be a division by 3, right? So all these 2's, 2, 2, 2, we can eliminate them and just concentrate on the 3's. Now we know with a dotted 16th note, we're not going to get bigger, and we're not going to stay the same. So it's not going to be a 16th note. It's not going to be an 8th note, because an 8th note would be bigger. It's going to be the 32nd note. We're going to get smaller. And I'll do one more of that. So here we know compound meter. The beat is going to divide by 3. And you'll see with all of these compound meters, we're going to have a dot, right? It's going to tell us that the beat has the ability to divide by 3. And dots don't become dots, right, when you divide by 3. So here we have a half note that has a dot. So a half note by itself divides into 2 quarters. So that's what half the value is a quarter. So if we have 2 quarters plus half the value, another quarter, we have 3 quarter notes, right? So we go down and we select 3 quarter notes. Now, why is it not 3 dotted quarters? Well, 3 dotted quarters is a much longer duration, right? Because we have a quarter plus an eighth, quarter plus an eighth, quarter plus an eighth. So we really have 4.5 beats worth, 4.5 divisions of time when we only need 3. So I'll go through meter one more time, because I honestly have no idea where things cut out. And if anybody has thoughts on me doing that again, please let me know, because I'm not really relishing doing it again. Okay. You have essentially 2 types of numbers on the top, and the top is really where you want to focus. The top tells you everything you really need to know. But you have 2, 3, and 4, and those are all your simple divisions of the beat. And you have 6, 9, and 12, and those are all your compound divisions. But regardless, you're still only having duple, triple, quadruple. So let's go through these and see if we can figure some of this out. 3A. So 3 tells you it's a simple beat, and it's going to be triple. So just go ahead and select triple. Now with 6 on the top, you know, for 6, 9, and 12, those are going to be divisions, compound divisions of the beat. And let's see, why did they do it this way? Here we have 3 and on the bottom we have eighth notes. So that tells you we have 3 eighth notes. But when we get 6, 9, and 12, it doesn't work like that. The bottom number does not tell you what the beat is, right? It's confusing. Why do they do it like that? Well, if you think about it, they sort of had to do it like that. See, here we can say we have 3 eighth notes in the bar. But here, how do you write, say we have a 6, so it would be 2 dotted eighth notes. How do you write a dotted eighth note as a number? Right, with an eighth note, you can just write 8. But we're talking about half again the value. So what do you put? 6, 8.5, 6 over 8.5, or sorry, it would be 3 over 8.5 to show you that we had 3 dotted eighth notes, or 2 dotted eighth notes, or yeah, it would be a 2 over 8.5, right? So that's an ugly number. So what they did is they essentially turned it into a fraction, and they looked for the common denominator. So they multiplied the bottom and the top by 3. Sorry, that sounded worse than it was. Let's just look at a few and I'll talk you through. Okay, so here, how many beats? Well, we have a 6 on the top, and 6 is 2 times 3. 9 would be 3 times 3, and 12 would be 4 times 3. So for 6, we just have 2 beats, 2 times 3. If I have a 4 on the top, remember if it's 2, 3, or 4, it's just what it is. So 4 is 4. Okay, here we have 3 beats in the bar, and the duration is a quarter note. And here's the secret. If it's got a dot, it's going to be compound. So your number on the top for 3 would be 9. If it doesn't have a dot, the number on the top is going to be 3. So since there's no dot here on the quarter note, it's going to be 3 quarter notes. So 3 quarter notes. See these 9s? These 9s would require a note with a dot. So here we have 12. What does the 12 tell us? Well, the 12 tells us that we have 3 times 4, 12. So we have 4 beats, so we can go through and eliminate a lot of our options. But this is actually kind of tricky, right? We have a 4 on the bottom, and we're used to seeing 4 in these simple divisions. But what this tells us is for each beat, we have 3 times 4, so 3 quarter notes. Right, and if we remember how dotted notes work, and we're going to end up with a dotted note here, so you can it's going to be one of these dotted notes. So if we have 3 quarter notes, it's 2 quarter notes equals a half, plus 1 more quarter note would be the dotted. So and if you look at a number, if you see a quarter note, and you're in a compound beat, it's going to get bigger, right? We're not dividing the beat. We're making it larger because we already have a division. 12, it tells us 3 times 4. So same with the bottom, 3 quarter notes. Again, like a fraction. If this is making any sense, let me know. I did it better the first time. So if questions, I can't imagine that people wouldn't have questions after that, but I can't imagine that people aren't watching. Okay, so here, 3 beats per measure. So we're going to have a 3 on the top. No, that's not right, right? See, remember, because we have a dot. So when the dot tells us is that we're in a compound meter. So what are we going to have on the top? Well, we're going to have a 9 because 3, 8, 3, 4, 3, 2, these are all simple divisions. The beat's going to divide into 3 parts. So if we have 3 eighth notes that have a dot, it's 3 eighth notes would be eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, right? Or sorry, the eighth note divides into 2 parts, 2 16th notes plus 1 more 16th note. So 3 16th notes. So we're going to go down and look for a 16, and that would be 9/16, right? Because we have 3 beats. And we're gonna remember when we look at a meter, a compound meter like this with a 9. Remember, this is 3 times 3 equals 9, right? And then same with the bottom. We're going to have 3 16th notes. 16th note plus 16th note equals an 8th note plus another 16th note would be a dotted 8th note. How many beats? It's got a 2 on the top, 2 beats. How many beats? A note. What type of note value receives the beat? It has a 6 on the top, right? 6 would be 2 times 3, right? Because we're tripling it. So this is going to be 2 beats. But more importantly, the bottom number is also times 3. So quarter, quarter, quarter. 2 quarters is a half, plus another quarter would be a dotted half. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to move on because if I keep talking about rhythm, I'm going to lose my mind. Okay. So this part is always something that freaks people out. And I'm going to just check and make sure there's no one wanting to ask a question. All right, here we go. Now for the major scales, really for all of these, the first thing you want to do is check the key signature. And you can just go ahead and check it for major because that's the easiest. Now, there's tricks to doing these key signatures, but there's one of them that we need to know right up front, and that's a single flat. A single flat is F. Just remember that. There's a theoretical reason for that, and I could tell you, but it would not be worth it. A single flat is F. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, someone having a question with the onboarding thing. All right, a single flat is just F. Just remember that. So let's move, and we'll talk about harmonic function, but right now I'm kind of more interested in key signature. All right, with sharp keys, you go to the last sharp. And the last sharp is the leading tone of your key every time. So here, our last sharp is a B sharp. And so our key would be C sharp. So what you do is you go to the last sharp, you go up a line or a space, and then that's your key. So B sharp, go up a line or space would be a C, but we have a C sharp in the key signature. So B sharp, C sharp. Every time, that's your sharp keys. Flat keys, you're going to the second to last flat. So this would be E flat, right? A flat, E flat. That's your key signature. Same thing, same key signature, E flat, A flat, E flat. Here, our second to last flat is a C flat. So you'll have C flat major. Here, we go to our last sharp, and we go up one. So E sharp, F sharp, because we always want to check against the key signature, so this would be F sharp. Here we go to the second last flat, A flat, second to last flat, G flat, second to last flat, D flat. All right, C sharp, that's our leading tone. So we want to go up one line to D, and notice there's no D sharp already in the key signature, so just a plain old D. So that's the trick for key signatures, and that's really the most important thing about this page. It really is. Let me see, am I getting any questions? Okay, so that's key signatures. It's really straightforward. Now the next bit is harmonic function. So we told you already that one flat is just plain F. Just remember that. All right. And when we're looking here, when we're in our major keys, we can have a tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant, and leading tone. This subtonic, we only have those in minor keys, and we'll get to that. But in a major key, all I do is I say, well, I'm in F major, so F, and you can just count up the list here. F, G, A, B, C, dominant. right? Here I'm in, we have a B sharp for a leading tone, C sharp is the key, I have C sharp major, so I can just count up. C is tonic, D is supertonic, E is mediant, F is subdominant, G sharp would be dominant, so A would be submediant. So it's really just a matter of counting up the names. So here we're in E flat, right, second to last flat. So E flat to A flat would be E flat, F, G, A flat. So that would be the fourth scale degree: tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant. All right, so here's the subdominant. And these are really important to know when we're doing triads. You just want to have this down. And it's just a matter of counting. So here our key is E flat, the second to last flat. We have an E flat, so this is tonic. This is the tonic. Here we're in C flat major. So what is this? Well, if we count up from C flat would be tonic, D flat would be supertonic, E flat would be mediant, F would be subdominant, G flat would be dominant, sorry, F sharp, F flat, G flat would be submediant, A flat would be leading tone, B flat would, sorry, let me start again. All right, I'm not going to say the names, that's too much of a pain. All right, C flat, let's do it this way. You can start, it works both ways, up or down. If C flat is the tonic, then B flat would be the leading tone. Okay, that's you can count down too instead of up. But if you do want to count from the bottom, C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. It's the seventh scale degree. It's the seventh note in the scale, and you can just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leading tone. So it's just a matter of figuring out what key you're in and then counting to see what scale degree you have. So here we're in F sharp major. We go to the E sharp is the leading tone. F sharp is the key. So F, G, A, B, C. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dominant. Does that make sense? So everybody getting that? Okay, I'm just going to assume everybody has that. So let's go down to minor. So we've already talked about the major key signatures. We're going to now look at the minor key signatures. So here, if this was a major, I'd count to the last sharp and go up a semitone. So here we have a G sharp. That would be the leading tone in major, so A major, right? So what you do when you have A or any major key is to find the minor, you're looking for the submediant, which is the sixth scale degree. So starting on the tonic, which would be the eighth scale degree, on the top, first on the bottom, eighth on the top, you can count down: tonic, leading tone, submediant. So if I'm in A, G, F sharp. So I'm in F sharp minor here. Again, I went and found the key signature in major, so that'd be A major, and then I counted down from that A major down to the A major submediant, which is the sixth scale degree. So A, G, F, F sharp. And so what note would I be in F sharp? Well, I have this is a G down there, so F sharp, G. I have a second scale degree. That would be the supertonic. Let's do a few more of these. Again, I have an F sharp in the key signature. If you're in major, you go to the last sharp and go up by a semitone. So in major, I'd be in G major. So I'm looking for the submediant. So G, F sharp, E. E minor. So what would C be in E minor? Well, start on E, E, F, G, A, B, C, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E, F, G, A, B, C. This is a submediant. Okay, now here I have my last sharp is a C sharp, so it would be D major, up a semitone. So I can count down D, C sharp, B, so tonic, leading tone, submediate, which would tell me that I'm in B minor. And G and B minor would be, well, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can just sort of count the letter names. Here's a flat one. That's a little more complicated. So if I go to the second to last flat, I would be in G flat major. But if I want the minor, I count down to the submediate. So if G flat is the tonic, G flat, F, E flat. Okay? So I'm in E flat minor, and I have an F here. So E flat, F. Second scale degree is the supertonic. Here I'm in minor, right? And if, same thing, with no flats or sharps, you're in C, right? That's obvious. So how would you find the minor with no flats and sharps? Well, if you're in C for the major, C, B, A. C is the tonic, B is the leading tone, A is the submediate. Remember, all minor scales are built off the submediate of the major scales. Every single one, right? So if I'm in A minor, what is my B? A, B, supertonic. Let me find one of the, here we go. This is beautiful. What do we see here? And the next one too. These are obnoxious looking, right? Well, let's just relax if you see something like that. No panicking, right? Remember, one flat is just plain old F. So F is the tonic, and we count down to the submediate. F, tonic, E, leading tone, D, submediate. So we're in D minor. So what is C sharp in D minor? Well, if we just count scales degrees, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So it's one of two options. Either it's a subtonic or a leading tone. Now in minor, the leading tone is the alteration, and we did all these alterations to make minor melodic and minor harmonic. So the C sharp turns our subtonic into a leading tone. So this would be a leading tone. A plain old C by itself would be the subtonic, which is what happens in the natural minor. But the C sharp is an alteration, and if we give you an accidental, it's going to be either the raised 6th scale degree or the raised 7th scale degree. It's going to be one of those two. So here, since we know we're in D major, this is going to be DC, leading tone. It's a semitone below. If it was a B, then it would be, or B natural, because we have a flat here. If it was a B natural, it would still be submediate. So if you change the 6th scale degree, it doesn't change the name. All right, this is really fearsome looking, but just follow the pattern. E sharp is the leading tone in the major, so F sharp would be an F sharp major. Count down to the submediate. F sharp is the tonic. E sharp is the leading tone. Remember, it's in the key signature. So we're in D sharp minor. We have a C, and I'm just going to count down D, C. So if D sharp is the tonic in minor, D sharp minor, C sharp or C double sharp would be the leading tone, right? Because we're giving you the altered pitch. If it was just C sharp, it would be the subtonic. So if we didn't have any accidental on it. But a plain old C sharp in D sharp would be a whole step away. That would be the subtonic, and the double sharp would make it the leading tone. How about this last one? We have an F sharp that would put us in G major. G is the tonic, G, F sharp, E. E would be the submediate. So we're in E minor, E, F sharp, G, A, 4th scale degree, subdominant. So hopefully I went through enough of those that people have that, but I'm happy to answer questions. If you have one that you don't get, just do a screenshot, stick it up there, ask away, and hopefully I didn't bore you all to tears. I have a couple of people still watching. All right, so thanks for listening, and I'm just going to assume everything is great, and if you have questions, let me know, and I might write some of this up. That might be helpful. All right, thanks a lot.